preparing to live stream the meeting.
Don't worry, we're still in 430. Oh, we are now on 436 building.
Okay, let's see if we see us. We're there. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for coming to the meeting. So today is May 11th, 2023. Present, we have Commissioner Boardman, Isabel Cotarello, Cicely Wilson, welcome, Marina Ferrer, the Director of Arts and Culture for the city, Chris Potter, and we have 3 guests so far. Maggie, I never remember your last name, Maggie. Mr. Richard Fromes, and
Maybe lemon.
Lennon?
Lemon like the fruit.
Lemon. Yeah, well, thank you very much for being here. So we are going to skip the first point of the agenda until we have the quorum to approve the minutes. So we're going to jump to welcome Cicely. Again, thank you very much for joining the commission. We are really excited to have you with us. You want to make the introduction, or we let Cicely do the tips
I'd
off?
like Cicely to.
Sure.
Perfect.
So I'm Cicely Wilson. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a Kingston resident, obviously. I've lived here for 22 years, raised 2 boys, 17 and 22. One is graduating from college on Saturday.
That's good.
He's actually graduating from Berklee College of Music, Boston. And he attended Kingston High School and benefited from all of their arts program. My younger one is really into sports. He's a 3-sport child. And I work at Art College. I've been there for 11 years. Currently, I am Assistant Dean for Civic Engagement and Director of Community Partnerships. But previously, I was in Residence Life. I was the Director of Residence Life during COVID, which was a really hard job, but we got through it very successfully. And before that, I've done numerous things, including, working with the Girl Scouts, Woodstock Day School. I stayed home for 8 years with my children, but had another life in Queens, New York, which is where I grew up, in Flushing, which is, Queens is the most diverse county, one of the most diverse counties in the world. But I was also an arts administrator, directing a community music school in my hometown in Flushing. It was associated with the Brooklyn Conservatory of Music, and it was the Queens Conservatory of Music, and I was there for about 5 years. Very inspired to do that because I grew up with a family of musicians. I don't play myself.
Oh. Do you sing?
I do sing.
Okay, good.
But I never had a desire to be on stage, and I always tell people if I wanted to be famous, I would have been in my family's band. But I'm more of a behind the scenes kind of person, directing that kind of events, affairs, things like that. So
That's good.
That's wonderful. Can I ask you to briefly tell us about what a few partnerships that Bard now has in Kingston that you think?
Sure. I mean, one of the most significant ones is with Kingston High School. With Brothers at Bard has mentorship program there that's been going on for at least 7 years. It was started as a student project, part of the TLS, which is the Trustee Leader Scholar Program, and it focuses on mentoring young Black men. Very successful. It's reaching out across the country now, and they have outposts throughout the country. But we also have Sister to Sister, which is arts and culture based, which mentors young women of color, which is again started by students, has been going on for about, I want to say, 4 years at least, throughout the pandemic. And other ways that we partner are our students engage in engaged liberal arts and science classes, courses that have a community partnership, a community service element to it. So they partner with different organizations to do either research, ground legwork for folks that's part of their classwork. So they might do internships in government officials' offices, but they also might partner with housing initiatives to do research on that type of thing. It really depends on the class, obviously, but those types of partnerships exist. course, our conservatory students partner with a lot of organizations here to do performances, different types of educational outreach initiatives. But those are just some of the things I hope to expand more of them. I personally facilitate a March Match program, which is an alternative spring break program. We send students to do mini internships during spring break. We partner with folks like the City of Kingston Housing Office, also Immigrant Defense Network, Kingston Food Collaborative, Emergency Food Collaborative. I don't know, just.
That's incredible range of
Yeah,
things.
it
Very
is.
impressive.
Well, it's a range of students and their interests, so we really try to cater to that.
You also have Lagos.
It's so funny to think about that as a student project because it's so, it has reached so far and it's like, we're just so really stipulated that it's Spanish language magazine in the state. So yes, of course. Also started as a TLS program, trustee leadership.
Yeah, it was a project.
Barton Prison Initiative, if you've heard of that.
I haven't had a friend who teaches this topic.
Yeah, I mean, Lavos and PPI are almost like the same, like, they're so big, they're out in teams and stuff. Outgrown Bard, but it's still part of it.
Great.
Yeah.
So we have, thank you very much. It's really exciting. I don't know if we may not have much time, but to introduce ourselves, just because the agenda is a little bit packed. But maybe we can briefly introduce ourselves to Cecily.
Hi, I'm Ward. I'm Ward Mintz. I run a foundation that funds primarily museums in fashion and textile. And in my volunteer world, I do a ski museum at St. New Falls and a career center here down on Broadway.
I'm Isabella Quattreno. Welcome, Cecily. I'm an artist. I volunteer at Ask, as I do all the communications and graphic design that you see with them. And I'm new as a commissioner here. And my biggest interest is to work with young people and helping, pushing them into showing their talent.
But Isabel initiation at the commission was immediately to take into the exhibit and work 27 hours a day to
Hold on a
have
second.
the show.
DJ, can you hear us and can we hear you? Say something.
I can hear you. It's a little bit garbled.
Okay, it's a little garbled. Can you? let
Yes,
us-
it's very echoey. Can the microphone be more centrally located?
That's the acoustic in the room is not the best. Yeah,
Okay, all right.
Bad acoustics? Okay.
yeah, the acoustics are not the best.
Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, so we
Then
will plan another initiation project for you. So.
I'm gonna be less live today than next time.
That was good. Well, I'm Marilena. I'm currently the chair of the commission. I wear several hats, but right now I'm wearing I'm an artist kind of hat. Normally my big interest in community engagement goes towards the immigrant community. Just for the sake of the language has been the Hispanic community mostly, and also because it's the largest. It's the second minority, the second largest minority in the region. So obviously there is more substance there, but I definitely love to work with very diverse, culturally, cognitively, different. I really love the salad concept on every place. So even in art. So welcome. DJ, would you like to introduce yourself briefly to Cecily?
Sure. Hi, CC. DJ Brumfield. I'm sorry I can't be there tonight. My husband had surgery. I'm a little bit tied up right now. But hello. I am an arts advisor in New York City. I live in Kingston, but I commute in and or telecommute from home, mostly in visual, music, performing arts, some dance. I move around. I had previously been on the board of Arts Mid-Hudson for 6 years and on the grant panel for probably 10 years. And through them, I was introduced to the Kingston Arts Commission, which I joined last fall. So welcome. When I get to see you, we'll talk more. I have a common friend who is, a friend who is a professor at Bard, so I want to talk to you about that.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you very
Likewise.
much. So DJ, now that we have you there, I think that we have quorum. So is there a motion?
I'd like to move that we
Okay, good.
accept the minutes from last meeting.
Okay, seconded?
No, I would like a correction.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Excellent.
Excellent.
I don't know if to follow
It's
with
a matter of style.
if with the style of the minutes, my last name is not Isabel, it's Cordero.
Yeah.
So it should be Miss Cordero.
Yeah,
Thank you.
since all the commissioners have
Got it,
the last name, yeah,
got it.
You don't want Queen Isabel?
that will
Of
work.
course.
The fourth.
That's automatic fill-in. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
The computer overthinks sometimes.
Thank you. Any other comment or amendment to the minutes? Yes?
Just a bit of correction on spelling the name, and I think it's the last sentence in Ariel. It's just two Z's instead of one.
Oh, I missed that. Oh, and the last part. Okay, so we can correct that typo.
Yeah, that's how you.
Nazario is one F, yeah, I see that. In the last line before the, perfect. Thank you very much. Any other
Yep.
comments?
That wasn't clear to me at all, but I assume I can talk it out with Kit, so go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, no, at the beginning you have him right with only one Z. It was just in the last line.
Sure.
Perfect. Okay, so in favor, all in favor, please?
Aye.
Aye. DJ, do you approve the minutes?
Better.
Are you in favor of approving with the corrections?
Yes, with the corrections.
Perfect. Zizi?
Sure, if I'm allowed
Sure.
to vote on it.
Yeah, I know that you were not here,
You're
so we
right.
understand that it's the exceptional case.
You have to vote on faith.
Vote early
You
enough.
have to trust us, yeah, in that regard. Perfect, thank you very much. So Keith, please, your report.
Yes, I'm going to just do these things that you probably know, but this is for public records and
Yes,
so
sir.
live on YouTube, okay? So I want to start with just congratulating, and I know that our chair is going to elaborate along with one of our co-directors for the City Hall exhibition. But I just wanted to report that our opening reception, April 29th, the weather was chilly and rainy, but we had up to 200 youth and families. And the responses for the exhibition, the staff came out the day after the install saying that they could not believe it. It looked like it was professional. Said, of course it's a professional, just because they're youth doesn't mean they're professionals. But the performing arts segment was also just outstanding, and I want to by name, forgive me, but I must on record, bravo, visual arts directors and teachers, Lisa Kelly, Laura Giordano, Beth Humphreys, Matt Draw, Frank Waters, Star Negro, My Kingston Kids Photography Now, Amy Purdy, Kingston High School Art Club, and Chris Warren and Joanne Schubert, and the Boys and Girls Club of Ulster County Club Harmony Chorus, and MCs Diane Watson and Mala Devine, Charlene Bevier, Harambe, Kingston NY, Drew Andrews, Malik Andrews, Jim Fitzmaurice from Center for Creative Education and the Rhythm Generations Drum Ensemble and Entity Dance Company. Can you all that weren't here imagine how amazingly and powerful this moment was? It brought me to tears. And it was dedicated to the memory of and the legacy of Ben Wigfall. And one of the things that I was just moved by was that all of these teachers, and this is a labor of love. This is not something that they actually get paid well for. And all of the teachers, all of the directors, they are literally carrying on our beloved Ben Wickball's legacy and handing the baton down to these young creators. And it was just an amazing event. I want to thank Chair Isabel Cottorello, Drew Andrews, Lisa Kelly for working tirelessly on organizing, sound technology, and more to help make this event a success. And I know that Isabel, our chair, will have more. I'm going to move on now to strategy 5, the Art and Local History Education Roundtable. In our master plan, it is stated that we will be bringing, connecting the community with artists and local history experts to ensure that the arts and local history are being represented in a factual and meaningful way. Coming together with the burning of Kingston like it's never come together before, October 13th to 15th. We will have more, Taylor Brook and I will have much more to present to you, but it is going to be amazing, the whole entire weekend. And again, this is a precursor to the 250th anniversary of the Revolutionary War, which, and I understand the entire state will be descending upon Kingston to commemorate.
No.
In 2 years.
But
So
not to burn the town down.
we are starting now and planning for that with Hudson Valley wide historians. So
It looks
I
good, the
will-
program that you outlined here.
Could you give us in 25 words or less how this burning of Kingston is going to be different from the previous burning?
I'm involved. That's.
Thank you very much.
On Saturday, it will be your traditional reenactment, and, you know, the demonstrations and what have you. However, on Friday, Susan Stetson-Cohn, who is the author of the
Defiant.
In Defiance,
Defiant.
Runaway Slaves from 1735 to 1813, and Arthur Cook, noted historians. They will be in the council chambers on Friday to talk about runaway slaves. Where'd they go? What happened? Looking at all these runaway posters, what happened? We lost our slaves. Well, some of them were lied to by this side as well as the British. If you fight for us, we'll give you your freedom. Well, those that didn't believe that fled. So they will be dealing with that in depth on Friday. And then, of course, the reenactments on Saturday. But then after the reenactments and the exhibition at Person House and the Senate House, Drew Andrews and his company are working on an original choreography that will happen somewhere in Midtown. We'll be working on that after Drew's recital. So you'll hear more about that, but that will be after, so that's different. And then, of course, on Sunday, and I was so glad to hear from the Bard Conservatory Ensemble folks, because I really wanted to know if they could go into a duel between Mozart and Chevalier. Because as a lot of people don't know, Chevalier de Saint-Georges was greater than Mozart, but he was snuffed out because of his blackness. However, I got a call from the Bard Conservatory saying, we do not want to recognize Mozart at all. We are going to celebrate Haydn, Chevalier, and student Sam Mutter's original composition. So that will be the finale of the Burning of Kingston weekend, and that's why it's so different.
Congratulations.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Sorry, we need to move on in the agenda. Well, you'll be
One
behind,
more-
but yeah.
One more, please.
Mhm.
We have upcoming, because we won't have another meeting until that. So I just want to announce on live that on Saturday, Saturday, May 27th, at Academy Green, 7 o'clock, Maxwell Kobe Donker, Sankofa drummers and dancers, followed by the Mighty Black Panther. This is actually, and it's part of the coming of history and the bringing of history, and part of Pinkster Week, Trans Arts
Mhm.
Pinkster Week. And that is now live on their website. So if you want to go, you will see us that we kick it off. And you will see all of these amazing historic events that will take place for a whole entire week of Pinkster Week. And then next up, Saturday, June 10th at TR Gallo Park. Doubleheader Latin concert featuring Alessandra Lord Gonzalez and her band at 5:30. And at 7 o'clock will be Pablo Shine Trio, followed by Selena. So I just wanted to let everybody know that we are all the way live. Everything is budding in Kingston, and we can't even keep up with everything that's going on. I think it's amazing.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, and please, the report is more extensive than that. There are 3 pages waiting for you to read.
And it's
Each and single line of it.
It's posted on our website.
Yeah, but
Perfect,
it's good to hear it live, too.
Yeah.
It really is meaningful.
really good, thank you very much. So, Isabel, I guess that we have a report from the exhibit, a brief.
How can I talk all the great things kids should
Okay,
say
next.
about it? The only thing is I really want to publicly thank all the teachers and people and Lisa who was really working very, very hard in every aspect of the exhibition and keeping the budget tight and all the technological know-how together with Drew, who made it possible. And I mean, and of course the kids for all the guidance and know-how of how to navigate City Hall issues. And I mean, to me it was an incredibly inspired experience to see the talent that is in this town. The artists, I mean, these young kids, young artists, they are fabulous. I mean, please come and see the work in the hall because it is really at a professional level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it all from KHS?
No.
Well, it's Kingston High School, the parks, the draw.
Oh, that's right, it's all the
And my
different ones.
Kingston.
Yes, and by Kingston kids, put the photography. And I really also thank all the work these teachers do with these students and also the time that they are putting into rehearsing for these amazing performances. I mean, the teachers are putting the time, the kids are putting a lot of time and dedicating to make their craft better and better every day. So thank you, everybody. I enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for sharing. I mean, when you're a chair, you have to deal with a blend of all kinds of juicy personalities, spicy personalities.
Not everybody together.
And how long
Well done.
will the exhibition be up, Michelle?
The visual arts will be up until September.
Yeah, it's gonna be all
21st.
summer, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
And by the fall, we will have another exhibition. So we'll have to come together and talk about what that looks like and when the call for art will be sometime during the summer.
That will be the initiation project for CCV?
And I'm told that the same partners want to do it again next year.
That's
with
good.
their new,
It will be important to keep the.
I think we should
Yeah.
keep it going.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody is so excited about it and so proud. I mean, this is like, when you come into City Hall and you're just walking the hallway and people are like, these are kids.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, and these are organizations. And by the way, you can donate to them, you can support them, and you can enroll your kids. So this is a way of letting the community know, that are about our youth organizations in a show and tell situation. And, thankfully Drew took and others took quite a bit of beautiful video that we'll have, that we can archive. I would just like to ask Richard Frommis, since this was dedicated to the memory of Ben Wigfall, and you have done so much work over the years on the Ben Wigfall collection and last year's, Dorsey exhibition, and also the upcoming, if you could comment on how you felt about this and what you feel that Ben Wigfall might be feeling down from heaven, and also maybe a few words about the upcoming Ben Wigfall exhibition in Virginia next month.
That's a lot of stuff to say without been given an opportunity.
Please, in 30 seconds.
Uh,
Yeah,
Listen, I got your back. Don't be careful.
And he has a pencil in his hand.
No, okay, seriously, I think, one of the things that's been so incredible about what's been happening, with the whole Ben Wigfall project, which again goes back to 2016, is that, and it was done, by the way, with his blessing, it was shortly before he died. This is the idea that what he did was that it's living on with bringing art into the community, and that's a simplification, a gross simplification of what he was doing, but we don't have time, as Ward said. And the fact that we had this out of nothing almost. I mean, this was an almost unknown artist. He never promoted his own artwork, and yet we have two exhibits that major retrospective museum exhibits that came out of this. But the purpose of them, the biggest purpose of them all, as Ben would say, looking down or up or whatever he is at us, is that the purpose of the exhibits, the purpose of the art, the purpose of it all is really to motivate community, to bring together communities, to create opportunities for youth. And this is, and if anything comes out of any of these, that's what has to come out. So what Isabel did, that incredible, and I'm sorry I meant to write to you. I was so overwhelmed by that, by the production. It far exceeded expectations that I had. But and Kit said, the upcoming exhibition is we had the one at the Dworsky. The next exhibition is going to be at the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts, which is where he then had his.
Is this year or next year?
No, it's in June.
It's now in June, okay.
It's in June, and it's going to have multiple offshoot events which they're able to do, which they did originally when they did a tribute to Ben in 2017. But the thing is that they're having the event in June, the opening of the exhibit, but they're trying to get something in August where they're involving the Kingston community, they're involving the Communications Village community, which we'll know more of. I was just on the phone with Sarah Eckert, the curator, this afternoon. And it's like, every time I talk to her, it's like, we're also thinking of this and this and this and this, where they involve the Churchill community, which is where Ben grew up. And they've been doing something in a church, in a former church, that follows Communications Village. I mean, the idea is to make this concept spread.
So please keep us posted about this in August.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be great.
Yes, and I will be having, I have my mailing list, which almost all of you are on. I may not have your email address yet, but which I give out information about the Wigfall stuff.
Thank you very much.
Until when the show will be?
In Virginia, from June 17th to September 10th. And it's in
Beautiful.
Richmond.
Thank you very much. So we're gonna move in now with Lisa. Please, Lisa, we have a follow-up for the Distinguished Artist Award Public Project.
I don't have anything to update with Jaguar Mary quite yet. We're
Okay.
looking at a meeting next week, so I'll let you know exactly the date and time. It's gonna be at Ion's house, so hopefully that will work out. Looking at next Thursday, but we had to reschedule that, giving me confirmation.
Yeah.
She said that she's been working on they've been working on the descriptions and what the workshops will be, so.
So the concern is that the calendar, and Kingston-wide calendar is getting so
It's getting
filled
hard, yeah.
that she might just want, I mean, they can figure out what they want to do, as it goes on, but if they want anything in the fall.
At least to have a date so we can.
Establish a
yeah.
date, book the date wherever they want it.
Even if it's not completely shaped,
Make
yeah.
sure that it's Yeah, so that's the
Then we
only
have
advice I
some-
have, is
Yep.
that so much is going on. I mean, we can always bring it into the chambers. But it would be preferable to, to have it somewhere, out in the community.
At least to have tentative dates
Yeah.
and then finish
But,
the.
if the chambers and fine, we can bring it here.
Cicely, do you know about that? Yeah.
Well, yes, but they were awarded last year, yes, and now they're.
They're doing their project, it's-
Yes, okay.
yeah.
That's what I was, so when you're awarded, you don't do it in the same calendar year? Or you-
It's a 2-year.
You have to, it's a 2 years, yeah.
So that's
When they
the
got the
next
award, there was a video presentation in City Hall.
Right.
I can go over the overview of the program if we're going to be discussing parameters and protocols, if you like.
Well, could you give us like a brief, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm prepared to.
Perfect.
So this is the history of the Distinguished Artist Award. It was established in 2018 as a partnership with the mayor and the Arts Commission. It's a biannual recognition of Kingstonians' creative excellence, artistic accomplishments, and involvement in the community. The nominees must be a resident of Kingston for a minimum of 2 years and recognized by peers and experts throughout the community as among the most highly celebrated in their field. We encourage nominations for creatives from all cultural backgrounds who may work in any artistic discipline, included but not limited to painting, sculpture, literature, architecture, theater, film, music, literary, culinary, and more. We're especially interested in receiving nominations for creatives who are committed to building community and will give of their time and energy toward this aim. Awardees are selected by a panel of their peers that I help select with the commission. So as chair, I would be spearheading that selection. And they will be honored in a ceremony at City Hall. Usually it's been around May, June, so that's what we're shooting for next year as well. And this upcoming 2024 will be the 4th award given since inception.
Beautiful.
And they're required to put on workshops.
Yeah, so that's what we need to sort of talk about today, because there really
Yeah, the
is no real guideline on that guidance on that process.
But there's a diversity of artists, of kinds of art that these people practice. The range of what the public program could be is rather vast.
Diverse too, yeah.
Yeah, so Jaguar Mary is proposing to do a series of workshops, experiential workshops on, relationship with nature, self-resilience, and so they are performance artists, and so they're multidisciplinary in their practice. So, I mean, I think that's why there isn't a whole lot of guidelines, because we're offering an ability to interpret what their offering would be, based on current affairs and trends that they see, or observations of the city and observations of the community, and how they respond to it is up to them.
Do you see a minimum, that each awardee will do at a minimum X, or is it just crazy to even think about that?
But the minimum that we were talking on this year is like to do something with the community, some public events, some
Yeah,
public,
concert. Concert is like, I think what they
Or
did.
concert or
Marco
exhibition
did a
or what,
concert
yeah.
online during the pandemic.
Are they given money to do that?
Yeah, so what's the award amount, 1,500?
something like
They're
that.
not separate to produce that.
No, it's part of that award, which we've talked about.
Yeah, they don't have to produce like a huge event that includes, and that would be their, I don't know how to, or
Yes.
stipend, I don't know how to really call
But
it.
we could also review that for the coming one.
Yeah.
It depends also in the, yeah.
So the Arts Commission really supports the planning and pre-production, or at least the chair of the committee, along with Kit's office, and then the city rolls out most of the promotion and marketing.
Yep.
So the budget, I think, is really not too much for the artists unless they want to do something crazy.
Yeah, we do have to work on
I want to say that the whole thing was 2,000, but I'm not positive.
We upped it this year.
It started at 15, and it's really,
Yeah.
So we really need to work on putting a little more in that, Kitty.
I'd say we get to Peter Buck and it becomes $1.5 million.
That would be some work of art, wouldn't it?
Or at least have an additional budget for the presentation portion.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't feed into their honorary. I don't know. I don't have any, I was trying to look back, I don't really have much notes in terms of the metrics involved with panel review of the nominees. I feel like, I mean, I was part of the panel review process last year, so were you?
No, I think that, no, I wasn't in the panel video, it was Susie with, Ann, I think. Oh, I came to the review, but I was not part of the committee, I was more like an observer.
Right, I know, but I don't, do you recall there being any metric presented to them on how to evaluate the nominees?
There was something,
There was a
but I need to
scale.
look for that,
It
yes.
was pretty informal.
It was pretty informal, but they had something that eventually they were pointing, but
Yeah,
I may need to look for that because I'm not sure if I have that material, but I can get that.
I can reach
My
out to
question, my
Susan.
question, Lisa, to you is that something that I'm not highly concerned, I can go to sleep, but you know, that eventually is that the planning of this event for Jaguar Mary X and the turning the process for the next awardee are like overlapping a little bit or might overlap, and it would be great if, I don't know, because it's 2024, our next awardee, and normally that was at the beginning of the year when we do that, so we need to do the call for submissions or
Nomination.
nomination. My God, I'm running out of, we need to do this meeting in the morning, that is when I'm, the nominations and all those things, then to gather the panel, then to find the place, you know, all the things that takes few months. And we are already going to the peak of the year and coming to the second half, and it's also to plan with Jaguar Mary X. So I just would like to be mindful of your time too, because on top of that, I know that you have already enough on your plate. So I don't know if eventually we should have like a committee. Did we decide a committee for the
Well,
artists?
she decided to chair it.
Okay.
Julia was on the last
And
one.
I,
Oh,
I mean, Iola was on that committee.
Okay, great.
So
And
I,
Julia was on the last one, wasn't she, too?
I think, no, it was Dominic.
Oh, I thought, okay.
Dominic was a panelist.
He was a panelist. Yeah. Okay, well,
So the last
There were
time I
four.
understood it was Susan Lynn, was chairing.
it was
Not
Dominic,
really
was Brian.
sure Who was on a committee, if there was even a committee, I
Well,
think Susan Lynn was just doing.
The committee was Lisa, Ann, and Susie.
And I think Brent also helped identify panelists when he was still on the commission,
Oh, okay,
because I had emails with him.
okay. But then the panel itself, there were four, like it was Kai, Brian,
It
Sarah,
was
and
five, it
Dominic.
was Dominic, Brian Mahoney, Kai Jalordis, Sarah Redder, who's a writer-director, and Laura
Oh, I know.
Victoria Ward, who's a
Yeah,
choreographer.
right. That's
And
true.
Pablo said that he got asked to, but he never got, there was no follow-up with him, so he didn't get to know when the meetings were, or didn't get to participate. So, because I remember Pablo's name coming up, but,
Okay, well, let's keep them in
Yeah.
mind for the next term.
For the next, yeah. I just wanted to make that, just that note, because
So
it looks
what-
like the two things are gonna be overlapping, yeah.
okay,
Why would
so,
they be overlapping? If the.
Because the plan for Jaguar Mary X is by the end of this year, and at the same time is the ask for nominations for the,
would you want to call for nominations in January?
Well, I
when
thought
everybody
that's
start
what-
on break?
Isn't that what we were, I thought that's what was scheduled.
Well, this is what we're talking
January
about, so
11th.
would you like to schedule, because the ceremony is in May,
Yeah.
right? So
Right,
if we call for the nominations in January and then maybe have a couple of months of getting that outreach.
I think that we need to have more time for the call for nomination that we used to have in the past. Because if I remember correctly, nominations were not like abundant.
It was kind of last minute.
Exactly.
I think Susan was working on like 30 different things at the same time, and everything, and then she goes, oh my goodness, we need to.
Yeah, so that was the thing. I was thinking if we
Yeah.
promote the thing by the end of the year, so we open the space for the nomination and
Well, how
that's
about
what I was thinking.
during Jaguar
Well,
Marriotte's first.
Make an announcement.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It's not a heavy lift for me to have an open call going on. I mean, the committee, you're
Good.
just gonna be receiving nominations,
Well,
correct?
yeah, but what we're referring to is.
Is the panel
getting the word
itself,
out to
yeah.
the community.
Cecily wanted to jump in.
Right, so I agree. I was gonna suggest this thing.
So maybe we'll make sure the call is complete and ready by their workshops or performance. And we'll get the word out, we'll get the flyers out and everything like that, have it live. And have that outreach and give, the commissioners and committee members, volunteers, chance to, get the word out to encourage people to nominate those who they feel are, worthy of recognition, who've
Sure.
done a lot for.
No, I mean, it's not rocket science. I'm just saying that we need to keep it and, keep it out there, really come in and also organizing the panelists, organizing the date that work for everybody to have all the things, like everything. It's just that it piles up. But Cecily wanted to say
I
something.
had one question.
Sure.
And a comment. What's the deadline?
The deadline for the nominations?
Yeah.
Well, if we leave it open for till February, I would say. Then it'd be a month to deliberate we have a month and then that'd be March, and then in April, we'd be able to start, rolling out the ceremony and informing the artists
So deadlines,
and,
February, you said?
yeah.
Because I do believe also that she's.
Advertising it in the fall.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
In that event.
Say that they open from this January 1st to February, whatever.
And they get the word out so that.
To keep it rolling, yeah.
Be able to plan.
Yeah.
So we need to keep moving.
Say
I hate
February
to be saying that we need
That's
to
okay.
keep moving.
That's why you're the chair.
It's just that we don't have enough time, so.
I mean, and anyone's welcome to join the committee. I mean, I'm happy to. Okay, great.
The other thing we could also do is to create a graphic to advertise this, meaning, you could have a painting by Julie, a picture of Jaguar Marriott, in other words, images from
And Lara,
the previous distinguished artists. And it would be, oh, what's that?
Yeah.
Type of thing.
that would be great. Beautiful, thank you very much. So we have a few minutes for,
Hi,
you
my
know,
name's Nadine Lemon.
Come and sit at the table.
Comes in.
yeah. So we can hear you.
There you go.
Yeah,
Well, we can hear you.
Can you hear me better?
yeah, it may be like about 5
Remember
minutes.
the DJ's there.
Right, I'll be quick. My name's Nadine Lemon. I'm with the Center for Photography in Woodstock. Thank you, Mary and Rena, for letting me come and.
Thank you.
There has been a grant that has been on my radar. I think it's called Our Town from the NEA. It's $150,000. It's a partnership between a nonprofit and a city. So Kingston, Center for Photography in Woodstock. And we're very interested in that postage park, which happens to be 1 block from the building that we just purchased
Yes,
on Dedrick Street. And so this grant would enable us to perhaps do some kind of public art in that park. My idea is not any further than that. I have met with a landscape architect and they're fantastic plans, but there's also several places that we can imagine there being public art in there. Since it's a block from our building, we're very much looking forward to doing some of our workshops in that park, which would help bring people to the park. But also it's right in the midst of the Midtown Arts District, so it should say art somehow. There should be something that is prominent.
Are you thinking about something temporary or permanent?
Well, that's a very interesting question. We could use the money if we get this grant to put some kind of structure in place that then could be a rotating exhibition. So I have seen several public art things that are kind of steel framed, you put photography in it, but then have it be a rotating exhibit.
Just
But
to clarify,
really have not gotten a lot of brainstorming yet.
just to clarify, are we talking about the new piece of land that was created once the traffic circle
Yes.
was
Yes.
created? So, okay.
Oh, no, not the traffic light, here, the park next to
Dallas.
where the post office, the
Yeah.
old post office.
Yeah,
Old folks.
Oh, okay.
yeah, that's right,
Dallas.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's my understanding there's $50,000 that's available for the city to do the first phase, and they haven't gotten really to fully flesh out the second
Yeah,
phase
but this is something that we've been talking about,
for a long time, and we're late to the party.
recently about, that there's a consultant, isn't this the same project about the consultant who's, that's working?
Yeah.
KAN is the name? Yeah.
And we're talking about the possibility of temporary installations and how we're going to create a base
For that, yeah.
these kinds of things, lighting, this, that. So
Right.
it's the same.
It's the same, and I met
Same real
with her
estate.
last week,
Okay.
and I saw the plans, and it's very exciting.
So the idea that CPW is having is that because there is this grant, you don't have a proposal yet, you just are trying to say, look, is there a possibility? Can we collaborate? Is something that the city will be interested? We would like to jump in. Is to start that conversation and see if eventually it becomes a proposal that can be presented to NAA. And if the grant is granted, celebrate, right?
So you're right, and I think it's due in August, so we have a little bit of time to come up with an idea and submit it.
So this is for fiscal year 24.
That's a good question, it probably,
Yes.
it
Yeah, must
probably
be.
comes in at that time.
That
Sorry,
is,
when is it due? Sorry.
It's due this August, they haven't even posted on their website. Sorry,
So I believe the date is August 8th.
oh, have they posted it on the website?
Yeah, it's on the website.
Oh. Okay,
Excuse me, it wasn't clear from this side who is offering the grant. I couldn't hear it.
I believe it's the NEA. I can
It's
look
the
at that.
Our Town grant from.
So is that for art in places?
Their creative place, it's their creative placemaking.
Creative Places
Creative
program,
Placemaking.
okay.
So I guess this is a question, is there another nonprofit that is asking to submit?
Yes.
You are,
Yeah.
okay, we probably can't submit both at the same time.
Right.
Okay.
okay, does that mean that the
Well,
city needs to decide with which nonprofit is gonna submit a proposal? Or that there could be different proposal that the city could submit?
Well, they're certainly only gonna select one from a community.
Well, the selection I get is only one, but my question is, can the city submit more than one proposal
No.
or is limited
The
to one?
city can only submit one.
Okay,
But the city is going to submit, not a nonprofit.
It's a partnership between
The
a
city?
governing entity
Yeah.
and a not-for-profit.
Okay.
okay,
We received this grant. That's how we created the first Pinkster.
yeah,
And you're thinking to apply again to follow up on that particular project?
Yeah, but our partner is the county. So
Ah.
our original,
oh, that gave you some leeway.
our original partner was the city. And the city wasn't able to follow through. So we partnered with the county.
Okay.
So that,
Where was?
Is that a
Does
little-
mean I can partner with the Kingston?
well, that's something that is worth to explore, right?
You can do whatever you want. I mean,
Are your hands here and your hips?
you can do whatever you want. They're certainly, the grant is, they only select like 20 from around the nation.
Yes,
This
it's
is,
very highly competitive.
yeah, it's very highly competitive. And so, you know,
I know your time is tight, maybe
Yeah.
we should talk, and.
And also talk with the city because I guess that the brainstorming should start and also to see the proposals and also ask the city if the city will be really interested in that proposal or how that goes. I don't know how that goes. Yes, Lisa?
Wouldn't also this public art policy that we're trying to.
Yes, of course it is.
Bear a lot of weight here?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what I told him to come so we can have it, we all have an open conversation.
Yeah.
And we
And
can
also
ship it.
how these will work with the timeline that
KAC, the designer.
Okay,
Yeah.
they were planning that maybe the first phase will be ready next year, right? At the end of this one, or maybe the beginning of
Well, I think
24?
they're being more realistic now that it won't be
That
until
is
the
24.
beginning of next
Yeah,
year.
that's what I read last time.
So,
Even if we don't go for this grant, because
Uh-huh.
our partner is going for one, we're still interested in this park. So, and we're still interested in the public art possibilities in the park,
Perfect.
so.
so is the
Yeah.
Midtown Arts District, so we should talk.
Yes.
And maybe not for next year, but maybe the next year, 25.
Right.
Because then I think the public art policy will be in place.
Should be.
have better guidelines and guidance and parameters so we
Yeah.
can work together with the city. And we won't have as much, I think, hiccups that might.
Yeah.
But it's good to have, even to have had a preliminary conversation.
Exactly.
Because I think one of the things that we need in thinking about this space is creativity.
Yes.
And, it's not only gonna be that one sculpture sitting there like this. That it could, who knows, it could be projections, it could be moving, work, I-
Absolutely.
Living part.
And something that you didn't know is that we are discussing precisely to create that public art policy for the city of Kingston.
Right, I saw that in her minutes, so that was.
So that's I think it's a good moment to then have all these conversations because all the conversations are feeding one another and hopefully we can have a more robust policy in place. That would be my hope. But thank you very, very much. And also we will continue talking because I would like to pick your brain too, but we will be in touch.
Well,
Thank you very
I
much.
just want to know how it's going because also you all are doing, you had sent me a survey to fill out. You all
Yes.
have a consultant, CPW. Maggie's handing you a card.
Oh, great, I was taking out my thing to get.
Let's hear how that's going.
So we're in the midst of a strategic
And
planning
your new building,
process.
is that all?
We have a
Because
new
the city
town.
is involved with the building.
Yes, we have a new town, we have a new building, we have a new executive director, very good time for a new strategic plan. We have a survey that is on our website now, we're trying to get as many people as possible. We've taken up your idea and Brian just did a PSA with the radio today.
Oh,
And
good.
hopefully these things will get out. So everyone, please fill out our survey and tell us what you want our future to be.
And that's on cpw.org,
cpw.org.
okay?
Yep, and our.
And you had a community forum, how did that go? Did you get good attendance?
We got good attendance and we had actually two different ones. We had one for the Kingston and Hudson Valley area, which was a Zoom event. And then we also had one for the larger photographic community, which was nationwide.
Can you sneak us in a little bit of tidbit about how CPW can serve the community or partner or collaborate? Are you coming to that light, or is that light bulb coming on? Especially with this new building,
Yes, it is definitely starting. We've launched our workshop program for the summer, so there's a lot of workshops. We're partnering with local organizations. And the new building, we are talking about putting in community rooms and a film forum room and offering it up as low budget place for people to have galas. We have a gala on June 3rd. The tickets are now available. So we can test it out.
Yep.
where's the gala?
Galas at the building.
Oh, it really is?
Oh, lovely.
Fun.
It's gonna be kind of, elegant and rough because it's
Yeah,
obviously.
well,
that's fun.
Move on in, right?
That's a smart move, then you don't have to pay for the venue. I don't say right in
I see the link down in the work booths.
Okay, there you go. And we do have a photo festival, to answer your question. Our first big community event is on Upstate Arts Weekend, July 21st, that whole weekend. So it's gonna have tintypes, dog portraits, and workshops, and bands, and food trucks,
Oh,
and
great.
everything.
And last year's invitational at Tech City, which I understand was massively attended. Thank you for bringing all these tourists in to spend money here in Kingston. Is that every year or is that every other year?
Well, hopefully that now will happen in our building once we get that
Yeah.
exhibition.
Okay, so it won't go on this year though.
The big show, I'm
Big
sure something is coming up
Something
as
is
soon as we
cooking.
have an exhibition space, so
Okay.
we don't know when that's gonna be.
All right.
So,
Great.
but thank you for all the questions and free access.
That's it.
Very helpful.
Thank you,
And
thank you for
the time.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming, and also because we were with some announcement, I see that before we go to executive session, we have 3 minutes for announcement. Okay, so, Lisa, do we have a,
So
I know that the draw is already promoting the summer workshops.
Oh, almost. We are gonna be doing a city look lab for the summer, using the UCAT. So it's for middle school age. And, we're gonna go around and they're gonna visit all the sites. They're gonna be tourists in their own city. And stop and then make art, in response to what they experience. And also do some designing, you know,
The bus stop.
yeah, bus stops, and kiosks.
I love it.
So, Larry Jackson, who's just an incredible human, is our teaching artist that's gonna be facilitating it, and our PUG students are gonna be assisting, and we have a ton of students coming in for summer youth employment this summer, so, which is perfect, because that's when our Celebration of the Arts Expo is happening.
What is that?
What is the
It's
date?
gonna be on July 8th, from
July
10 to 4. Got partners involved.
And that will still be at the campus?
At the Kingston, yeah.
Yes, it's gonna be at the SUNY Ulster Kingston Center, which is right across from the hospital. We're gonna have a playroom sponsored by Bailey Pottery, and we're gonna have a print room. It's gonna be, a celebration of our upcoming community print studio that we're going to be expanding into across the street at the Pajama Factory of our current space. We're about to
Yeah.
We're about to finalize the lease on 3,000 square feet of a community printmaking studio and a new office for me.
Yeah.
And storage, and then, we're gonna keep the space we're currently in and offer, more events and more workshops, and yeah, it's gonna be big. And then our draw-a-thon event on August 12th, it's gonna be, a street festival this year. Hopefully in collaboration with the Midtown Business Alliance. They have their own block party, and we're looking at cooperating on that event. And this year, everything's about this print studio all of a sudden. It's cropped up like, you know, crazy. It's just been bananas.
That's one of
But,
my favorite events of the year, the draw-a-thon. That will be the third.
Right, so this is a 12-hour drawing event where we cover the walls of our studio with paper and the floors, and people can just draw on the glass. And then in addition to that, we're doing a steamroller print that will be rolling out.
On the street, it's gonna be like a huge.
We'll be rolling that out during the expo, inviting artists, we are inviting artists now, who want to participate with a lino cut for this large print that we're lino cut print that we're gonna be creating with the steamroller. So far, it's 3 feet wide, however long it will be is a big question mark, but it could be as long as Iwo Jima Lane, which is the
Yeah.
street that we're closing off of, so. And then we have some opportunities for,
Well, I know that Lara already had in the lineup at least 6 artists.
actually it's gone to 9.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
I
so-
spoke with her last week, so I think it's done.
Yeah,
So that's great.
but we'll also be offering lino cut carving at the expo, so we do a lot of printmaking at the expo.
Beautiful.
Yeah, there's just, you know,
Cool.
Kingston's gonna be a big printmaking city soon.
Thank you, Lisa. Do we have more announcement, Maggie?
I just want to invite everyone to join us for Pinkster Celebration this year. Runs from May 25th. And it's all over the county. We'll be down in Shadowlands in Ellenville, in Rosendale, at the theater there. And then the biggest celebration, so we're doing films with talkbacks, and during the course of the week, and celebrations in a couple of different venues. And then on Sunday, on Pinkster Sunday, June 4th, we have Margaret Washington, who is the internationally recognized authority on Sojourner Truth and wrote the book, Sojourner Truth's America. She is opening the forum in the morning at Old Dutch Church. with Lavada Nahan, who's the state, her title is, she's the state interpreter of African
Oh,
American
love
history. And Lavada is, and they will be talking, and then we'll do the procession like we did last year, except that this year we're going from the church to the Senate House. We'll be on the Senate House grounds. And we have everything, both a Pinkster celebration and vendors and demonstrations and things like that. So we invite you all to
And you had an ongoing exhibition, because I was talking to Taylor today, and he said that Greer was over at the person
Yes.
house installing.
Yes, we are installing that sort of.
And your grand opening is.
Concurrently, we are the guest host for the Person House this summer. And we have an exhibition that goes in, that's, as we speak, being installed. That is 400 years of history of Africans in the Hudson Valley. And that has been curated by Dr. Jeffries, who is Lorraine Jeffries, who is a substantial authority on African American history. We have artifacts and things coming from 5 different museums and collections in the city, in all over. But it's pretty amazing. And then in July, we as we speak today, I had my first Zoom call from my office in our new building. This is a 10-year restoration process. And so we are near, the city came to inspect the building on Tuesday. And so we'll be getting our C of O soon. And the art is, we received the art for our inaugural exhibition. Martin Puryear, Colin Chase, Deborah Priestley, and who am I missing? David, I'm missing, can't remember, I'm spaced on his name, but and we have one of David Hammond's flags. He has contributed to our permanent collection, so that will be, and then Peter Bradley. And Peter Bradley's work, that which is just.
Maggie, could you send us an email with all that information? Because I don't receive information from Transart.
Yes, absolutely. No, we're in the process of.
Getting all of this PR out.
Yeah, literally, I was expecting to have stuff in my hands today. And
don't worry, when you have it, feel free to
Thank you
drop
for
it.
bringing New York City to Kingston. You know, I always say that, you know, a lot of what we have going on here, we can't fill busloads of people to go into the city to enjoy everything that we've got going on here. So it's just great that we have this.
It's great. I'm sorry, but I may need to cut the announcement. If there is any other announcement there, please submit it by email. And I would like to have a motion to adjourn the public meeting. Second, okay, thank you very much, everyone. I hope to see you again soon, and we will keep the conversations open. So we are moving to. Thank you.
Yeah.
should I stay?
No, because it's an executive session.
Yeah, no, I know, that's why I'm asking.
No, she's agreed to be on the public art committee. So.
Oh,